Chief Mapiyeye, you've just testified that the city manager threatened you, and if I understood you correctly, you said to call a hitman on you. Can you restate that? And then you gave a name that you say she mentioned.
She indicated that she will hand over, that was the name she utilized. Yes. She will hand over myself and Mr. Mwiza to the hitmen and quoted Mr. Mswazi.
And you indicated that at the time you didn't know who that was.
I really didn't worry. In my heart, I said, let it be.
My question is, did you know who she was talking about when she said Mr. Mswazi?
I did not know who this Mr. Mswazi was.
That was in 2023. Between then and now, have you since learnt who that Mr. Mswazi is or was?
I happened to learn at a later stage who Mr. Mswazi was.
When and how?
I was with a colleague somewhere in Kempton Park, who whilst we were having a breakfast, me and him, this colleague, he told me that he is going to a memorial service of a gentleman so-called Mswazi, Msibi, Mswazi. That's when I've asked this colleague, who is this Mswazi? Then he then explained to me that he's one of the hitmen in the country, having some whether taxi businesses, but that's the information what he gave me.
Okay, and still you remained unmoved. Of your statement, okay. The chapter you have termed death threats.
During this same period, this is now this May, June, July period when all of this is reaching like a hot point where this discussion is going on and nothing happens with the disciplinary and nothing happens with IPID. It just, everyone gets more information and it gets worse and worse and worse as we go along. I am suddenly approached by a person from the State Security Agency, and he is stating to me that they, a State Security Agency, have picked up that there are death threats being made against me, where this Brigadier Mkhwananzi and other officers was discussing in Katlehong area, they were discussing to rent or hire Inkabis, which is a hitman from the KZN area. So they were discussing this and they already have plotted the concept of it's easy to take me out because I drive for my private capacity. I also have motorcycle and I enjoy motorcycle riding, adventure riding, and it's easy to take me out because I use the motorcycle. So SSA concluded a complete threat assessment against me and with my house, and there were conclusions made at the end of the day where they asked me if I'm kosher with it, if a guard can stay on my premises and I will provide water and electricity to the guard. And I stated, yes, I will do that if it comes down to that. But I also look after my own security and my family's security in a very secure manner. And that they then reported this to the city manager. He said to me that after he presented to the city manager, and that is that she came back with a nonsensical answer to say, I provide him with a gun, he can look after himself. So,
and if I may inquire, that was the assessment. Then you didn't give a time or a date. What year was this when the SSA did this assessment?
It was in 2023. It was in that period, May, June, July, when this was like reaching a peak situation.
It's actually a series of topics, but what...
And secondly, did you...
What was extraordinary about this phone was it drew connections between topics that we've been looking at in this commission that seemed completely self-contained and unrelated to one another. And Mr. Msibi was often well, crossing over in relation to people involved in one aspect of our investigation and people involved in another wholly separate one. So we see communications between another director of Carney Links, Mr. Carl Phillips, and Mr. Msibi. And we see a connection between Carney Links and Mr. Msibi. And what we see in these chats, we see a number of things, but essentially what we see is that when Carney Links gets robbed, they call up Mr. Msibi to sort it all out and find out who's robbed them and get their stock back. 26th of February, Mr. Phillips writes to Mr. Msibi, "Hey, Papa Joe, thanks for sorting out. Just tell us where to collect, but please ask if they can recover the firearms as well." So in this theft, which we will see, is a theft of stock. Firearms seem to have been...
Papa Joe is who? Mr. Jotham Msibi.
Jotham and Msibi. And from chats 3 to 6 at page 5, we see a series of chats from either the robber himself or someone pretending to have inherited the stock from the robber. The first one says, "Hi," to which Mr. Phillips responds, "Hi, can't talk, send message, I'm at work." "It's me, Ali, I want to talk to you. Brother, I want to give back that stock. I want to talk to you. Call me, I made a mistake to buy that stock. I just want to ask, there's one of my friends, can I give him that stock so that he can give you?" Then on the following page, the chats continue. Same chat, "I want to be sure if he speaks to boss that I'll give him. Please, brother, talk, brother, say something. What must I do? You're not saying anything." Then there are a couple of missed calls. "Talk to me only for a minute." And the response is, "Send the stock at our factory. Just talk to me on call, please, for 1 minute." So whoever Ali is, whether he's the robber or the purchaser from the robbers or somehow otherwise linked to the stock and the robbery, he is desperately wanting to make it better. Mr. Phillips says, "Hey, Papa Joe, the guy's been contacting my guys. I said they must deal with you if you don't mind. Thank you for all your help." And Mr. Msibi responds, "Hi, Kyle. He spoke to me yesterday at night. He told me the cigar is on your street next to your factory, but he promised to come. I'm also waiting. It's okay as long as he brings back the stuff." And Mr. Msibi says, "Cool, we'll not stand out when you guys have got this problem. We'll try to assist where I can." So Mr. Msibi is saying, when you've got this sort of problem in the future, I'm here to help you.
Okay, then there's another story during the rounds that I must have misunderstood somehow. There's a suggestion that you are suggesting that there was a sort of a second shadow government somewhere in waiting, a union building somewhere on a farm. Did you discuss that? And if so, what is that about?
What I said in the past, Honorable Member, is that there was a gentleman that was very big in the taxi business. He's late now. He had a game farm in north of Pretoria. Mm-hmm. Talk about taxi bosses, talk about business people, very prominent one. Talk about politicians, very prominent one. Will all make a turn in that place. I had conducted a peace talk in KZN on the taxes. He came there. I think he did not appreciate what I said in that meeting. When he left, I had this thing from people that are close to him. One of them is this Sergeant Nkosi, because he grew up with him there. He was his father. Where this man says, "I want Mkhwananzi to come to the farm." If you can't bring Mkhwananzi to the farm, that means you don't have control over Mkhwananzi. Because he believed that if you come to the farm, it's a sign of respect to him. So everyone, that means they walk into that farm or drive into that farm, they are subjecting themselves to his authority. So this person was that powerful, that man. So many people were associated with him.